Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing good. In this video, we will discuss about the Renin Angiotensin Aldosterone system. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. As you already know that kidneys perform various functions other than excreting toxins and filtering blood. An important function of the kidney is regulation of arterial blood pressure through various mechanisms. One of the mechanisms to regulate the arterial pressure is through changes in the extracellular fluid volume. As you can see, extracellular fluid is composed of two components, the interstitial fluid, that is the fluid in the space between the cells, and plasma fluid. So this is one of the mechanisms of controlling the arterial blood pressure. The other mechanism is the Renin Angiotensin Aldosterone system. Let's start by defining what Renin Angiotensin Aldosterone system is. It is a hormone system that regulates blood pressure, fluid, and electrolyte balance between the systemic vascular resistance. So, what is renin? Renin is a protein enzyme released by the kidneys when the arterial pressure falls too low. And it is synthesized and stored in inactive form called prorenin in the juxtaglomerular cells in the efferent arterioles. You may wonder, how does this hormone result in increase in blood pressure? To answer this question, let's discuss the mechanism of how it increases the blood pressure. When the arterial pressure falls, the intrinsic reaction in the kidneys causes the release of precursor of renin, that is prorenin molecules, in the juxtaglomerular cells which split to release renin. Renin enters the renal blood flow and then passes out to circulate in the entire body. One thing to note is that renin is not a vasoactive substance, it is an enzyme, which means it acts enzymatically on other protein called as angiotensinogen or the renin substrate. Angiotensinogen releases a 10 amino acid peptide called as angiotensin 1. Angiotensin 1 has vasoconstrictive properties, but they are not powerful enough to cause significant changes in the blood pressure. So, after a few seconds to minutes, it gets converted to an 8 amino acid peptide called as angiotensin 2. Another thing to note is that conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2 is carried out in the lungs when the blood flows through the small vessels in the lungs. The enzyme responsible for this conversion is called as angiotensin converting enzyme. Angiotensin 2 has strong vasoconstrictive properties, so it causes significant changes in the blood pressure, but it only persists in the blood for about 1 to 2 minutes, because it is rapidly inactivated by enzymes called as angiotensinases. Angiotensin 2 has two principal effects that elevate the blood pressure. The first is the vasoconstriction of the arterioles that result in increase in the total peripheral resistance. This increase in the total peripheral resistance leads to increase in the blood pressure. The second effect to increase blood pressure is through decrease in excretion of salt and water. This results in increased amount of extracellular fluid volume, and increase in the extracellular fluid volume means increase in the arterial pressure. Now, let's see how this angiotensin 2 causes increase in retention of salt and water. It is carried out in two ways. First is that it directly acts on the kidneys to cause salt and water retention. And the second way is through release of a steroid hormone called as aldosterone. Aldosterone is secreted by the adrenal cortex, and this hormone increases the salt and water reabsorption by the kidney tubules. This answers our first question of how this hormone results in increase in blood pressure. That is it for today guys. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and follow us on Instagram. Links in the description.